Okay, here we go. This is the last set of tasks that we have to do in MySims. Are you ready? Ha ha! So, to begin with, I should probably go into a bit of information about Dr. F, who we are doing all of this for. In his profile, it states Dr. F never had much success with conventional sciences. Luckily, thanks to a free class at the community centre, he discovered mad science. Finally, his profound insanity was an advantage. At last he could answer the important questions. What is the effect of lightning on hamsters? What is the relationship between love and robots? What happens when you put ketchup on pancakes? They're just such important questions. Interests are geeky and tasty, and he hates cute. The meanie. Now, Dr. F, won't tell you his real name until, star level 5. Initially, when you meet him, he's just like, my name is Dr. F. The F stands for robots. At, star level 4, he says, my name is Dr. F. The F stands for orbital mind control lasers. But when you finally get to star level 5, it's like, my name is Dr. F. The F stands for nothing, actually. My name is just F. The letter F. Which is incredibly depressing, but, yes, however, if you, complete a dispatch mission in MySims Agents, then it's revealed that the F may actually really definitely stand for robots, which is really weird. Also at star level 4, Dr. F says, someday I hope to successfully merge cow and plant into a single beautiful creature. Oh, the wonders. And this is probably a reference to the cow plant in The Sims 2 University. He also makes reference to Isaac Newton's first law of motion. He basically says, I've thrown out Newtonian physics as an accurate model of motion. I've devised a system I call F-tonian physics, the first rule of which states that objects at rest stay at rest, and objects that move continue to move in lieu of an opposing force. Haha, I'm a genius! Yeah, he's crazy, is our Dr. F. Also in this game his skin is, he's more tanned than he is in any other game. And along with Stephen, he says he invented the toaster oven, so we don't know who's right in that. He could be a reference to a character from Mystery Science Theatre 3000, because there's a guy called Dr. Forrester, who has same hair and same round glasses, but that's kind of... there's not much else, really. In The Sims 3 Seasons, there is a lifetime reward called Dr. F's Climatron Control Unit, so there is a lot of overlap between MySims and the actual Sims, which is quite fun. But I will say, I do think that there is a more than a passing resemblance to Isaac Newton with Dr. F. Not Isaac Newton, Blumenek. Albert Einstein. It's just the whole white hair, science stuff. I don't know, I mean, Dr. F is certainly much crazier than any real-life scientist, but there are certainly some crazy scientists out there, because, I mean, who else would think to do, like, fire 2 atoms at each other at ridiculous speeds to try and recreate the Big Bang to find a particle that you thought was there at the beginning because it kind of logic dictated that there should be something there. I do believe they have found the Higgs boson now, which is quite cool. Yeah, there are a lot of very interesting progressions in science in what's happening now. Because every so often something will turn up and it's just like, wow, that is impressive. I mean, I do believe that also, like, some people at a university somewhere are making little robots to for use in surgery. It's like it'll go into the body and can kind of move around, but it doesn't harm you or anything. And it's taking a lot of inspiration from, I believe, the tree frog. Can't quite remember the specifics on that one though. Now, one thing that you'll probably be surprised to hear is that although I am an English student, and I love English, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else at university. I used to be surprisingly good at science. I can't really remember a whole lot of it anymore because it's kind of been shunted out by medieval literature, Renaissance literature, and Shakespeare. But yeah, I used to sort of do quite well in science, and it was fun. I think it's just sort of, I never liked purely just regurgitating facts. There was something about that I didn't quite enjoy. And the difference of kind of having just the chance to do whatever you like, it just works better in my view. And this is just a wonderful way of fixing a fridge. Also, I really do not know why Dr. F wants a fridge that looks like there's just completely covered in tyres. It's a really, really odd thing to want. I'll just leave that tyre on the top off-centre so that it's quirky and new and interesting, because I think he'll like that rather than if it's just wonderfully symmetrical. Because he's just crazy, really, is our Dr. F. If I recall correctly, he pretty much sets you 2 things every time apart from the last build, which is the big, complicated one, which is typical of the star level for commercial sims. I'll leave discussing that until we get to it, but it's not a pleasant build, let's put it that way. Now, Dr. F's lab is really weird. I mean, just look at the completely and utterly bizarre back room that he's got. It doesn't make sense. Also, I can't believe that he's already at pretty much full geeky. That's insane. Oh, your fridge is just going there. I don't care that it's blocking something. It is going there, and you will like it. So yeah, we only have to build 3. Well, we only have to build 3 more things. There is one other thing that we are going to build after that, which is going to be kind of pretty much the last part of MySims. But yes, we need to build a karaoke machine and a toilet. Because clearly they didn't install one, and he's actually the only commercial sim to ask for a toilet. Which makes him and Professor Nova the only commercial sims to have toilets in their house. Which begs the question where, well, what the hell is going on with the rest of the citizens of Bellbridge if they are capable of, well, if they are not utilising or asking for any facilities. It raises some terrifying questions. I love how nobody actually kind of, you know, walks around where my house is. I wonder if doing all of this Essence Mastery stuff is just scaring them off. Or the fact that they know that I'll have to come to them, so they just don't bother to come round to me. They don't love me enough, they just love my stuff. And my building prowess. So yeah, we have another wonderful, wonderful karaoke machine. And this is probably a really weird time to bring this up. That was really posh, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you go to uni, where I do. What annoys me is that kind of reusing blueprints to build stuff, so like having to do another karaoke machine after doing Watanabes and repeating building hot tubs and stuff. I think it would have been more awesome if they did different, asked you for different things. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not that building the stuff is not fun, but it would be a bit more exciting if you had something new to build every time, rather than simply just kind of building. I think it'd just work better, you know? Also, that is a really weird way of constructing a toilet, but okay. Just go for it. Oh, it looks so wonderful. I'm sure he'll love it. Well, I'm sure, of course he'll love it. Pretty much all Sims love everything you give them if you've littered it with essences. So, we have finished our penultimate task build. The game is nearly over. I'm going to talk more about... Well, I'm going to basically regurgitate my thoughts on MySims in the next part, because it's going to be the last one. And I don't know, I'm partially sad that it's over, but I think I'd probably be testing my luck just a wee bit too much if I wanted to make this go on any longer. Because, as you can probably already tell, I've kind of run out of stuff to talk about. It's basically just because MySim, as I've said many times before, I'm just repeating myself, as I have also said many times before. It's a repetitive game. Doesn't make it a bad game, but you do the same things many times, and oh, I've just stolen his bed. Oh dear. Doesn't look a very comfortable bed, if you ask me. I mean, it's all steel. Ugh. But yeah, you know what I mean. It just doesn't. really quickly run out of things to talk about. It's why doing commentaries over fighting games and racing games is a bad idea, because pretty much after the first... Oi! You meant to like that. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. F.
Zarka, you can blur.
But yeah, it's literally... I mean, I was an idiot for trying to do commentary over Soul Calibur 4. That doesn't mean I've learned my lesson. But I know for a fact that I'm really most likely probably not going to be doing any racing games, because they just really are not made for commentary. That's one thing I will give MySims. It is more suited to commentary than any racing games. Just because in general, it has more story than most racing games. That's not always true. Because you do get some racing games with stories, but like doing something on Mario Kart just would be a terrible idea. But yes, here we have our wonderful big build for Dr. F. And let's just say that it is terrifying. The reason it's terrifying is because, as you can see, it requires lots and lots and lots of incredibly small bits and pieces that you have then got to paint. So, good luck with that. Because it requires quite a lot of patience to get it right. Because you've got to be very, very precise, especially when painting. And let's just say that I remember having so much trouble when I did this when I was younger, because it requires so much. It's ridiculous. Now, the main tactic is paint as you go along. That's the best advice I can give. And then you've pretty much got to just... You even then, after painting loads onto it, you've still got to include more things, which is just ridiculous. Thankfully, sort of, I've been able to make it look suitable without attaching too much random rubbish onto it, but I don't think that's how I did it last time. It would be very helpful if, you know, the map would load up almost immediately, not kind of when I've pretty much covered the entirety of the distance that I'm travelling. It's not very helpful. That definitely could have been improved. Definitely. So here we go. This is going to be our last task. Well, this is our last task in MySims. And then after that, we only have one more build to make. So let's give Dr. F this wonderful Teslotron thingy-majiggy-bobby doohickey that he was desperate for. Or it's a I don't even want to know. Oh, the Zappotron. That's what it's called, I think. So we have completed all of the tasks for the commercial sims. obviously you can pretty much get these commercial sims in almost any order. So obviously you haven't necessarily been able to play along, because you won't necessarily get the same sims as I did. But all of the tasks are always the same, and all the essences are from exactly the same locations as you have just seen. But yeah, that is all of the tasks completed. We have just one more thing to do, and we shall do that in the next part, which will be the big final conclusion to MySims. So I hope you will join me then. See you very soon.